What is the ego? My sinlessness protects me from all harm. As much as when we're trying to understand A Course in Miracles and we're trying to teach it, we like to think that the body and the world is separate from what we actually are. And it is, of course, a misunderstanding when you actually recognize what an alternate dimension of the same reality actually is. It is not separate, just misunderstood. So this sinlessness protects me from all harm gets into the realm and recognizing of what, say, all sicknesses, disease, and even body pain, right? So as this all body stuff, we like to think, oh, it's all separate from this, but we don't always recognize that the only reason we experience pain, sickness, and disease is because we believe we are guilty of something. And when we recognize that we have sinlessness and are innocent, that something is no longer manifest from what previously was there from that guiltiness. So when we believe that we are guilty or ashamed or fearful or anything, there are manifestations in our body, in our world, that naturally come with it. It is hand in hand because it's not a body, it's your mind. It never was a body, it's still your mind. And so when you believe in something, your mind represents that something. So your body is a representation of what the mind believes. The body is one of those representations. The idea of separation, ideas, only exist in a consciousness, a mind, and therefore the body is literally the idea of separation, all physicality. And then when you have ideas that your body could be screwing up somehow, or not doing something, or ashamed, or anything, it will then experience and represent through disease, allergies, dysfunction, viruses, what it believes about itself. So that we recognize if there is any pain, a miracle, a healing, is from recognizing what once was believed as a sin, a problem, and you did bad, you're doing it wrong, is now innocent, is sinless. And there, the manifestation dissolves and dissipates, maybe, and the experience of what you are is liberated. So it's rather interesting when you get into that realm, because a lot of people, again, think manifestation and law of attraction is separate from the unification of what God is. Enforcing separation again, instead of recognizing everything is involved, everything is right, everything is inclusive. So even that idea that you might think something is bad or evil outside, you are choosing inside that there is something bad. And it then is outside, projected outward, and the body is an outward projection in the same right. So you see what you believe everywhere. You experience, you feel the pain of what you believe. You feel the disease, the suffering from what you believe about yourself. In the same way, do we experience growing old? This growing old is because what we believe about our past has gone up in numbers. We retain memory and believe that we are indeed growing old, and therefore we justify our decision of experiencing growing old because we have a past that tells us that we are. These are actually choices and decisions. They're justifications of our decision. Instead of recognizing what we are now, we insist we are what we have been. And so all throughout life, you might say, I've always had this disease, I've always had this dysfunction. And you can't see yourself or be as you are when you're bringing your past with you. And then instead you're living your past, you're being your past here instead. And you're not being the manifestation of pure innocence right now. You believe you're guilty of always having this in the past. So a huge, large variety of actually practically applying this in the sense of modalities and different aspects and real practically applying it is it is a different ball game than just conceptually understanding it. But once you do conceptually understand it, then you know and understand how to apply it. But then you actually really truly understand it by firsthand experience of it, changing your mind, and the rest will follow. I guess I'm getting into a Spice Girls song. The experience of sinlessness has no physical representation. There is a transparent and illuminated perspective of what seems physical, but what you are is the experience of all existence. So as much as you've been birthed into it, the choice of your reality has not been up to you. The choice of what you live in your reality has been. All existence, including you, is a pure presence of what is the totality of what is God. So then when you're making decisions you're experiencing in reality, you're taking the perspective of the Son of God, that function, to choose between all reality. As God has all definitions of all existence, of all reality, your choice has been among them. And choosing separation and suffering has brought you here.